Alright, again, the idea is we're going to start learning Bootstrap. Okay? I want to see what you guys think of this and how well you understand it. I'm going to give you a starter, kind of a template that you'll be able to use. And right now, unless he changes it, what you're going to be doing for your midterm is you're going to be taking an existing site that's written in just straight HTML. You're going to be converting it to a one-page Bootstrap site. All right. Now, I sent you this just a little bit ago. It's called bootstrap-students.zip. So can you please unzip that file and just put it on your desktop? That's what we're going to create this in. Bootstrap-students.zip. There's not much in it, but it's enough to get us started. There's mine. Just bootstrap-students.zip. Take it, throw it on the desktop, then extract it. All right. Don't do anything. Don't open it up in anything. Just have it right there if you would, please. So am I right in assuming you now got this? Bootstrap-students. All right, open up the file. Yeah, it's got another Bootstrap students in it. That's fine. Open that one up and do me one favor, please. Change the name of this file from starter.html. Just change the name of it. You can right mouse click on it, choose rename. You can click on it and then click on it again, but I just want it to be called index because that's typically what you'd make it called. All right. After you do that, I know you're more comfortable, I think, with not using code, so open up the website in whatever editor you want. All right, be it Visual Studio Code or something else. Okay, so I'm just going to open up this file right here inside of Notepad, and I want to show you what's in it. It might look like a lot, but it's really not very much. All right. So we got our doc type statement, our HTML line, and then this is our head section that's right here. Again, like I said, it really and truly isn't very much. So I want to go over what's in here. All right. All right. There's our required meta tags. Again, this says we're using Unicode. This says it's going to be responsive. What you're going to notice is our stuff is going to be responsive without us having to write any media queries. Did you hear that? All right. Here's what's new. Couple things. First thing we're doing right here is we're adding Bootstrap. I'd like you to please do this. Go out, open up a window someplace, a browser window, and type in one word, getbootstrap.com. Getbootstrap.com. And hit enter. I will tell you that literally everything you might ever want to know about Bootstrap is on this site. A good place to start is to either say, click the documentation tab. You don't have to do this, but you can see it right there, or click the examples. So let's say, for example, for these examples, let's just say I wanted to create, you both know what a carousel is, right? Like a slideshow. So I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to do a Control F. I'm going to type in carousel. And notice they've got carousels. All right? Literally, right here. That'll go in, if you put that code in, it'll create a carousel for you. You've got to fill it in with your own pictures, but it'll do that. So what I'm telling you is what you can do with Bootstrap is go out to their examples and just keep dropping stuff into your file. That's really all you have to do. And then change it so it's using your pictures, your fonts, etc. All right? So like I said, if you get stuck, just go to Get Bootstrap. All right, the next thing we're doing.
Did we download it?
No, you don't have to do it. You've got it all available because of this line right here. right? We're using what's called a CDN. CDN is a acronym for Content Delivery Network. So instead of you having to go down and and download Bootstrap, because that was a good question, all right, we're grabbing it right from the internet. And we're just pointing, we're pointing to it right here on the internet. That's this thing. That's the CDN. Okay? Now, the advantage of that is we don't have to add a bunch more code. We just point at it. The disadvantage, this won't work unless we're connected to the internet. So if you go home and your internet goes down or whatever, or you're in the car and you don't, not that you'd be doing this while driving, but maybe you'll be with somebody and you want to show it to them. If you don't have internet capability, this won't work. Does that make sense? Because notice where it's going, HTTPS, if it can't get there. Okay? Now, this next line, line 13, you may or may not be aware of this, but I'm gonna go to another place here. I'm going to type in here Google Fonts. And it's fonts.google.com. And what you have here is, what's the number? Well, they used to always put the number of fonts they had. The last one I'd seen was, there it is, 959. There's 959 different fonts in here. All right? And if you want to use one, let's say you're like, oh man, do I like this font? Mansalva. I just really want to use it. All you have to do is you click right here on the plus sign. All right? And when you do that, it shows you, it says you've got to add this line into your code because it'll bring in where that's been defined. And then in your CSS, you have to just tell it to use this. That's it. All right? Why am I telling you that? Because when you do your site, one of the things you're going to have to do for your site that you're going to change, I'm going to say here's an existing site. So for example, it's not Rankin, but let's say it was Rankin's. All right? And I'm going to say, now you change it, but I want you to use the font you want. Okay? Also, if you notice in here, let's see, they've got, with some of these, what they'll do too is they will tell you what fonts go with your font. Okay? So if you wonder what fonts look good together, you'll be able to find that. All right? So what we're doing is we're telling it to go out to Google Fonts, and we're telling it we want to use Playfair and we want to use Roboto. Those are the ones we want to use. All right? What we're doing right now, just so you know, when you get done, this is what your site's going to look like. All right? And I maybe even showed this to you the other day. I don't remember. But it's going to look just like this. All right? So you'll have a little picture of Rankin, a drawing some artist made. All right? A little bit of text. This will actually go to a working video. We'll have a working slideshow right here. So can you see what we're doing? And then I added this at the bottom. This is an introduction to JavaScript, just so you'll see it actually has got a running time on it. So you know it's not running. Well, notice it's 8:39:17 if I refresh. See how it's 45? It actually is a running clock. All right. So we'll go over all that stuff. But what I wanted to do today was to spend about an hour. So I'll go till 8:55. We'll take a 10-minute break, and then I'll go till about 9:30. All right. Then you'll still have 2 hours to work on homework. All right. If you're behind on homework, because everything was due through Chapter 6 yesterday, or was due through Chapter 6 on Friday. If you didn't give it to me, I put zeros in the book, just so you know. You can still hand it in, but you're going to lose some points because it was due. All right, so if you're not sure where you are, or you got to put, you can go and look on Inside Rankin. 6 through 10 is due this week, and then the rest of the stuff, which will be 11 through 14 next week, and then we're done. We're done with HTML. We're jumping into JavaScript then. All right. All right. So these are required meta tags. This says we're using Bootstrap. This says we're using Google Fonts. This, you should know by now, says we're using our own style sheet. Okay? All right. The title will be this. Okay? And this is allowing us to use what's called Font Awesome. Why should you care? Because, again, look on the bottom. of the screen here, those are font awesome icons. See them? Notice if I click the Facebook icon, what's going to happen? I go to Rankin's Facebook page. All right? If I click Twitter, I go to Rankin's Twitter page. If I click Instagram, I go to Rankin's Instagram page. All right? And I don't think they have one, but it does say Rankin Technical College up there. And then finally, if I go to here, it just goes to Rankin's page. That's a school. So it just goes to the Rankin homepage. Got all that? We're gonna do all those. It's not hard to do either. All right. So we've got all that stuff. Before we get in here, what I wanted to get done today, hopefully, is this part right here. Right there. All right. And I don't know how many lines that is, 25 to, it's about 30 or 40 lines. All right. But I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna copy it to the clipboard, I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna throw it right there. All right, I'm gonna throw it right inside of here. Okay. Now hopefully you saw this. In fact, let's do this. Okay, if I run this right now, would you agree? Not much to it. Would you agree with that? In fact, this should just change to, because I changed the name, to index. Okay, I don't know why it's not showing it, but it will. All right, so in fact, let's just save this. So File, Save As, Bootstrap Students, Index. Yeah, I'll overwrite it. And would you agree, looking at this, would you agree? Come on. It's going to make me close it. There it is. All right, now, File, Save As. All right, yes, I want to save it. Now, would you agree when I run this? Come on, it is not already open. Would you agree there's nothing in there? Would you agree with that? All right. What I want to get to by the end of the day today is we're going to start putting in the beginning of it. So once we put in that, again, doesn't look like too much, does it? But this is what's called our navigation bar. All right. And it's one of the more important things for you to learn. So we're going to put that in. Plus, if there's time, we're going to go in. There's not much. There's 40 lines of CSS we're going to put in that. If we can get those two things done today, we can get a lot more of it done tomorrow. We can finish it on Friday. All right. Tomorrow, remember, it's chapter 11. Wednesday is chapter 12, and Wednesday we're going to do a pretest. All right. Thursday is going to be your test, hands-on test on chapters 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, then Friday we're going to finish this, and probably, hopefully we'll be able to do it in about an hour. Then I'm going to give you the midterm. The midterm won't be due till the end of the month. Did you hear that? Literally, you're going to get it on 7, 8, 9, 10, on the 11th, and it's going to be due like the 30th, all right, or the 29th, something like that. Also, just so you know, 3 weeks from Wednesday. See this? 3 weeks from Wednesday, I won't be here. I'm going to Pike Lake Technical Center, which is about, I don't know, 30 miles from here, something like that. It's out near Troy, and in that area, it's even further out. And I'm going there with to give a presentation to their students. Now, This is not, you might not like this. This is not my policy. This is Rankin's policy. What will happen on that day? Mr. Corrigan's going to open that door. He's going to take attendance. You're still expected to be here. It's lab. So, well, that isn't fair. That's the way it is. I usually miss about 1 day per semester. All right? For something like this. I did it again last semester. All right? But just so you know. So that day will definitely be it'll be a lab day. What I'm going to ask is that you turn in what you have for me on the 29th. All right? Yes. But technically it's not going to be due till the 1st. But I want to see on the 29th what you've done. Does that make sense? Not going to grade it. But it's mandatory that you give it to me on the 29th. That'll give me 2 days to look through it, and it's like, hey, Keegan, you forgot this whole section. It's worth 20 points, type of thing. And I don't want you to lose points. That's why I'm going to do it like that. All right, but you're going to get time. So if we give it here, it's not going to be due for 1, 2, 3 weeks. You'll have 3 weeks. And any time that we have a lab day, if you want to work on that, you work on that. All right? All right. So let's go back into here and let's start putting the stuff in. Now, don't worry about typing. Don't worry about doing anything. I'm going to move this, put this out so you can hopefully see it okay. You're going to have a lot of stuff thrown at you right now, and it's way too much for you to remember. It is. I get that. All right? The key thing I want you to understand, and if you don't get it, I want you to tell me, will be the stuff that's in here. All right? So what I'd like you to do, now let's assume, let's just say, we go through it and Maya says, I don't really like any of this. I don't like the way it looks. I want to make my own, etc. This is called a nav bar. I already showed you that when we save this, ideally, it's going to look like this. It doesn't have much in it. Now, that said, notice if I go back out again to getbootstrap.com, all right, and I go out to examples, and I do a search in here for navbar, all right, and I keep looking, 2 of 19. There's a sticky foot navbar. They have 19 different, maybe not 19, but they've got a whole bunch of different navbars in here. See that? Why am I telling you that? Because you're going to have to make a navbar on what you do for the midterm. And you're not going to be given a lot of instructions on how to do it. Why? Because I want it to look like yours. Does that make sense? When you do this midterm, in an ideal world, your two are not going to look anything alike. Your colors will be different. Your fonts will be different. The way you set up things will be different. All right? And that's what I want. Because then you're using your own creativity. All right? And that's, again, what we'd be looking for. All right. So let's take a look in here. First thing I want you to do then is I want you to take these 10 or so lines and type them in. All right, so get into your editor of choice and type in the lines that are in gray. You'll notice that they're right underneath the body. You notice that? So we've gone over all this stuff. Now we're at the beginning of the body, and I want you to type in these, 11 or 12 lines, just to start right there. After you've done that, we'll go over them. In fact, type those lines in, then take a 10-minute break, please. And yeah, spell them correctly. Use the same case that I've used, please.
Okay, I have a dumb question. But after expand, dash, is that a 1 or an L?
That's an L. It's for large. It's not a dumb question. That's an L. No, I'd rather have you ask. It's not a dumb question at all. Can you read it okay in gray? Like that? Is that all right like that?
I'm excited for these nails to be done. I got them done for my birthday and I'm doing them to Sunday.
I don't know what to tell you. You know, it's luck.
Yeah.
You know, and believe it or not,
And it's my
you see
daughter.
this length? These are being cut tonight. So so again, do these 10 or 11 lines, then take a break, and we'll start up again about 10 after 9. All right? It doesn't even pay to run this when you get done. We have to put in the rest of the stuff that's on the bottom. Okay? So just like I said, just go through line 33. If your lines don't line up with mine, I've got rid of a couple blank spaces.
Is that hashtag supposed to be there on the data target?
On the data target.
Under the data target,
Here?
lower.
Yes. Why? Because what does that mean? What does the hashtag mean? What does the hashtag mean? Yep. See hashtag nav bar nav? Look down below. ID equal nav bar nav. See that? So that's why we're doing that. Again, I'll leave this up here, and when you're done, take a break. We're starting up at 9:10. We'll go for about 20 minutes. I think what I'll do is with the CSS, I'm just going to print it out to you. It's 40 lines. I'm going to ask that you try to type it in by tomorrow. both got it all typed in? Okay, I'm gonna print out right now the CSS, and you work on it when you get a chance, okay?
Yeah.
And this is everything we're typing in for you. You've already got the first 10 or so lines in. All right, if you look up on the screen, please, right now, with the stuff I had you type in, if you put an ending nav tag in there, this would be all you'd have. Okay? Yours wouldn't look red because you don't have that CSS in there yet. But please look on the screen. This is what we're going to get. See this? This is called a hamburger menu. I don't know why. Somebody had decided it looked like a hamburger. Yeah, that's what they say. But notice when I click it, nothing happens. It's going to change in just a bit. But what I want to do is I'm going to give you time to type the rest of this in. But first I want to explain to you what's in here. I mean, if it doesn't make any sense to you, then you're just typing. So let's look at what you put in here so far. All right, that's all this stuff right here. When you work with Bootstrap, Bootstrap is just a ton of classes that somebody else created. It used to be called Twitter Bootstrap because the two guys who created Bootstrap worked at Twitter at the time. They made it open source, meaning anybody can use it. All right. So please look on the screen here. This is what I want you to get. We're saying we're going to have a navigation area. You know what nav is. We've already talked about that. We're adding 1, 2, 3, 4 different classes to that navigation bar. The first one, nav bar, because that makes it look like a nav bar. The next one says expand large, take up the whole screen. Then it says dark, which means that instead of having it be light colored in the background with dark text, it's dark colored with light text. That makes sense? And this says fixed top, and what that means is as you scroll, don't make it move. Have it always stay there on the top. All right? This, I guess yours would be red because this is saying change the background color to red. That makes sense, right? This, right here, this line, where you've got that href rankin, that's the rankin right there. Okay? This is going to be that button. That's that hamburger thing. All right? Anytime you look in there and you see ARIA, see all that stuff that says ARIA? That's for people who have browsers for the visually impaired. All right? You should put that in there. It's considered to be a very good idea, but it probably would work even if you didn't. All right? But we're putting in a button, and we're telling it that when it gets to be a certain size, automatically collapse. Become that hamburger menu. All right? And it's going to be called nav bar nav. Okay? And this is the rest of the stuff. I just gave you this handout. All right? This is the rest of the stuff that's in there. Now, I spread it out so it is about 40 lines, but you can put all that in as one line if you want to. If you do that, it's not going to be 40 lines. You're going to type in about 20 to 25 lines. Once you put all that stuff in there, it should look like this. I know that's hard to see. To the top, description, trailer, showcase, features, pricing, reviews, newsletter. See all that? So what I want you to do by tomorrow morning is to have everything typed in through line 78. And again, I got rid of a bunch of blank lines. There was a blank line here. I got rid of it. There was a blank line down here, and I got rid of it. So my line numbers may not jive with yours. You should have so far about the first 35 lines or so put in on yours. So what I'm asking you to do is to put in about 40 more. All right? So by tomorrow, I'd like you, you're not turning this in, but when we get all done, I want to look at it. And if it works, I'm going to give you some credit for it. All right? So you will be typing in this big div that's right here. And by tomorrow, you'll also be typing in the other handout I gave you, 40 lines. That's the CSS. Put that in your style.css. All right? And once you do that, again, once you've done that, you've saved it, and you run it, yours should look like this. And then we'll pick it up tomorrow, and we'll add some more stuff to it. Does that make sense? All right. But it's 9:15. I'm hoping in 15 minutes or so, you can type in as much of the rest of that as possible. Does that all make sense? Maya, make sense? Okay. All right. Then I thought that I'll go and lecture on what this stuff means tomorrow. All right. But I'm going to give you some time to type it in. All right. Then we'll pick it up there tomorrow. The rest of the period today is left. But I do want you to have these first 78 lines in and the style.css line in. That's going to help you a lot on Friday when I give you out the midterm. Okay? That's all that I had for today.